Hi everybody. We're just going to wait for a few minutes just as some people are still arriving, and then we'll get going with the walk. Hi there. I think we'll just give it 1 or 2 more minutes, and then we'll get going. Oh, Annie's joining. Should we get Carola? Are you happy for us to get going? Okay. Welcome everybody. This is our second walk in our most recent series of Walkative events, which are student-led walks. And this walk is being presented by Carola from Visual Communication, and we'll be taking a walk through Santiago in Chile. The panel here today is myself, Alistair, and Pat, who are the co-presidents of the Walkative Society. And we've also got Simon here, and I think Jasper Joseph Lester might join later, and who are the co-founders of Walkative. Today, really happy to be presenting Carola, who will be leading us on our walk. She's a designer and master in cultural management, specializing in editorial and graphic projects related to cultural development. She carries out research and design, contributing to the development of reflections on the patrimonial rescue of the Chilean graphics, memory archives, and human rights. She's creator of the project The City as Text, and researcher in the National Graphic Archive. She's co-author of the book Luis Fernando Rojas, and has participated in international congresses on history and design studies. She's currently part of the curatorial team for the upcoming London Design Biennale 2021, and we're representing the Chilean pavilion entitled Tectonic Resonances from the South, from the user-centered design to the planet-oriented design. And yeah, as I said earlier, she's studying visual communication, and you're in your first year. Is that right?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. And I'll hand over to her now. I think you said that you're happy for people to ask questions as you're walking, right?
Yeah.
And we'll try and pick them up when there's a good.
We have this Q&A.
And yes, we've got a Q&A. So if you either put your chat questions in the chat box while Corola's taking us on a walk, or wait till the Q&A and we can have a discussion then. I think your walk's going to last about 40 minutes. Is that right?
Yes, 45, yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, and then we'll have a quick Q&A afterwards. And hand over to you. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening here in London. Thank you for the invitation. I will share my screen. Okay, so, well, it's a pleasure sharing with you this walk that is very special. I know that last year the Walkative Society already made a session in Santiago, in which I participate as part of the audience. And also I remember that in that moment, we were completely in lockdown. So it was very interesting to be able to walk virtually through the street of my city. It was like a little break of this confinement. But this experience is completely different. It will be another phase of Santiago, one that is not the traditional, maybe one that is not used to be in the historical books. and one that in some way tried to make you part of an experience and historical memory. Not only because we were going to walk through others' street and neighborhood, it's because we're going to walk back in time. Yes, we will be wandering through a specific day in a specific time for one of the main streets in Chile. So are you prepared? And also, like, this is a particular walk, I prepared a special material that, like, to make an introduction before we technically start walking. So don't worry if there's some information or some things that you don't understand, because as we move along the route, I think that they will be answered. So you just need to follow me to the end. So we will transport ourselves to Latin America in the south part of, and we will make a stop here in Chile, in Santiago. And as I said before, we will go back in time till the 23rd of November 2019, during this time especially. But why this year? Why this day? Why this time? What was happening at that moment in Chile? And the answer is a huge crisis, even before the COVID-19 has appeared. On October 19, 2019, Chile experienced what was referred as the social uprising, one of the biggest crises in the history. As Gaston Sublet, the understanding Chilean philosopher, states, a mega crisis. It was an explosion of social demand, a stemming of discontent from which has dragged after years of violation of citizen rights, triggered by a 30 pesos increase in the prices of the capital subway ticket. The most transversal slogan was the concept of dignity. That is the struggle to achieve a dignified life for all Chileans, where basic rights and service, such as health, education, housing, and pensions, will be guaranteed with all without distinction. A few days after demonstrations began, the promise of almost 30 years made by the democratic government after the military dictatorship were seen as broken, and that normalcy that Chilean has come to live day by day will not longer be accepted. In this scenario, no person, institution, or discipline or corner of the country was isolated from the debate. Citizens began to demand urgent and profound structural reforms in education, health, systems, in addition to the right to water after years of privatization. Faced with the massive protests in the street, the government sent special police and military forces who indiscriminately used weapons, highly toxic gases, physical violence, and unjustified detention to repress the demonstrations. These multiple human rights violations were added to the list of demands and discontent already existent at the beginning of the social uprising. So this is a short summary of what was and at the same time is happening in Chile, just to make this introduction to the walk. So, okay, this is the route that we are going to do. We are starting there in Seminario, and we're going west to the government palace, which is called La Moneda. And this is 2.5 kilometers of route, and we will make a big stop at Dignity Square, which is the main square of demonstrations. And these are all the roads that we are going to cross during the walk. So let's begin in the walk. Well, we're here just in the corner with Seminario Street. And as the title of this session refers to, it's an invitation to understand the city as text. I will try to translate and to decode some messages written in the walls. Do you see the number there with an X that you can read now, 1973? That is because that was the year that the dictatorship of Augusto Pinochet started, till the 19th. And this repression remembered that period of Chilean history, of course, that with the difference. Also, we can read a lot of ACAB, a lot of dignity, fight, murderous government, rapist, we're not all, resist, killer police. And also, I will show you the face of Camilo Catrillanca, a Mapuche leader that was unjustly killed by the police in November 2018 because of the continuous repression to the indigenous people in the south of the country. And of course, many bloody eyes. And well, I need to explain this because the police and the armed forces shot into the eyes during demonstration, especially when they just started. So there are more than 400 people with eyes injuries in the first 3 months of protest. Well, there is the face of Camilo Catrillanca. I will try to make a zoom. So now you can start recognizing all over this route there. And there also above, you can see this dog that represents also an icon in demonstration. The dog is called El Perro Matapacos, which in English is Blackie Cop Killer. And it was a crossbreed street dog who actively participated in street demonstrations in Santiago since the student revolt started in 2010 and began to have visibility and relevance. He supported the protester versus police, so he became a protective symbol of the protest. It was recognized by its dark fur and this scarf around his neck, the red one. Well, you can see there another eye. And also the poster of the... Well, this is really near the epicenter of the protest. So there you can see a lot of much writings and posters and tags. And this bloody eye is incredible. And we are now outside the Telefonica Tower, just some meters before Dignity Square. As I've said, this was the epicenter of all the protests, of the daily protests. And I will make a stop here. It's one of the first one because this place is an iconic place which embody a sound memory. The sound of the protester hitting with the stone, that iron wall that was just built to protect this building. And the sound was like a transatic mantra of daily demonstration that everyone that participate in can recognize. So can you listen to this tack, 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 tack? Well, and this was very common. It was something that happened every day. And people stay there like for more than hours and have turns. When someone goes, someone replace it. So, okay, we will continue. And well, it's very powerful and beautiful how people found in the public space this company support and meaning for continue demanding for their rights. And well, we're continue, and now, just now, we are in the epicenter. Just back, there's the Dignity Square. So we're just there in this roundabout. And thank you to the Google Street View, we can say that we are just here, there. And now we can have this nice 360 view. Yeah, so we are now looking at this place, but behind us we have all this roundabout where is this monument that used to be like the center of the protest. So now we will have a look of how looks this place during demonstrations. So this was normally happening there like every day. And I would like to express my gratitude to the work of Galeria Cima, who installed camera that broadcast live what was happening in this place in the protest began. Thanks to them, we have access to this record on YouTube as part as our memory and also as part as this alternative archive. So there's a streaming. And this is like the normal dynamic of the roundabout. So please pay attention to the monument at the center of the square, where is now the fire. And yeah, it was normally that at almost 8 or 9, like the police start the repression for dissolving demonstration, and you can see how the cannon extinguished the fire of the monument, and of course that water that comes out is not clean. It contained a lot of toxic chemical components that produce severe skin burns. And this was every day. So this is another street view before the social uprising, because the monument there is very clean. And and the question is why this monument is important. So first of all, because this place became the center of the protest. So there, it's amazing how people go there and stay for hours. And this one it's a really nice picture. Thank you, Jorge Aguayo, for this incredible image. That is one of the best march that happened the 25th of October, 1 year before the social uprising starts, where there were more than 1.5 million people. And this happened with the monument, like it was all the time written and people were there. So what's important of this monument, it was Jose Manuel Balmaceda, and he participated in different wars with Peru and Bolivia in the Pacific War also. So do we want to continue protecting this monument? Of course that the government sent a lot of police and like to protect it. But I decided to include this video, and also thank you to Galeria Cima, because this happened this year, like last month, and the government decided to take out the monument just to protect it. So this was like a huge event for the Chilean people. So this is all the record of how they took this monument that is very heavy. It's not easy to take. And after spend a lot of money like cleaning and using military forces to protect it, like the solution was take it, remove it from the square. And also the government decided to spend a lot of money building this wall to protect the nothing. Thank you, Riva Mondes, for the pictures. So it's quite ironic, this. And as a break, I decided to show you this animated video made by Galeria Sima also, that in my opinion, use a lot of humor, irony, and art as a tool of question political debates. And now that you understand who is this character, like the importance of this dog, you can understand this video. And this was before the monument was removed, so it's quite funny. And now this is a work from the street artist and journalist Kayosama. So, well, it was necessary to make this huge and big stop because it's like the center of everything. And now we will continue walking because we have a long way to go. And that stairs there is one of the, it's one very important station, a tube station, sorry, and that connects multiple lines. And since the protest began, the station was closed. And well, like this is the epicenter of the conflict, where the conflict took place every day. You can see also how the pavement on the street are destroyed, like, because it was also common that people there take this material and throw it to the police as protection also. And all these places that are with restaurants and shops and different stores, they build those fences and iron walls just for protection. And also there you can see in the floor how it's plain of messages saying different things. That bus stop is completely destroyed. And I think that here I found a record that is from the same stop bus. Wait. So we are now standing there, and this was every day at 7 p.m. happening. Well, I think that you can recognize that a cab, all cabs are bastards. I really don't know why it was so popular now in this demonstration and this protest, but people use a lot the ACAB. And here also I found a nice image to show you this street that is also one of the, look, all the people that were all the time there. And well, I would like to say that this phenomenon of social explosion does not happen only in Chile. In the past 2 years, like multiple protests have taken place around the world, in Georgia, in Iraq, in the United Kingdom, in France, in Bolivia, in Hong Kong, in Palestine, just to name a few. And nowadays it's happening in Colombia as well. So in this demonstration, the citizens have taken over the street to express their disagreements and desire. And the appropriation of the street and the public space have been the setting for the process and the best expression of the society as a whole. I think that is really interesting, like take out this vision of violence and just start reading at the messages and think that the city and the public space it's an agent that is alive. And if a society is sick or in crisis, like how it's materialized, it's through the city or through the street and the public space. This is another important hotel that is the Crown Plaza. that of course that was closed. And well, this streets you cannot walk during the day, like for a lot of time. And also this place was not the word important, but this here was a police station. So I found another video just in this place where you can see the protesters like throwing stones, of course, like for hours. And then there. And all the repressions go out from this place to the Dignity Square. And of course, that gases and pellets return to the to the protesters. So the street as a shared space has become a meeting place, a place for conversation, for dance, a place for barricade, for trench and commerce, a multi-place uses. The street even becomes, which I call the citizen book, that is written day by day by the same citizens. And also, it's important to say that there is not just violent messages. You have a lot of positive messages that include this idea of resist, of take care, of love. So it's really interesting to start seeing this not with the violence content on the distraction. And here it's a typical bar, maybe, where you can have a pint there, and you can eat also the completos, which is the Chilean hot dog with avocado and tomato. It's delicious. If you visit one day Chile, you must ask for a completo italiano. And I can testify that Anthony Bourdain loved them, but really I don't know if Jamie Oliver what he think about them. This is another, well, you can see there the face of Camilo Catrillanca that's everywhere. There's a lot of messages here that say like quit Piñera, which is now our president. This is another tube station. And we are now arriving to another, like one of the main university, which is the Pontificia Catholic University. And here you can read a lot of messages that are asking for a better education, a free education, because now studying in Chile is really expensive. You need to pay a lot of money for studying. So, and also there's a lot of messages of pedophile priests and messages like that, because like this is a Catholic university. So I would like to invite you to continue reading this huge canvas of wall, then in some way change the traditional materiality of the common understood book, and in this case as an echo of the social demands, where instead of paper it used concrete, and instead of ink it's like an Egyptian papyrus or a Japanese parchment. You have this continuity. Here's another monument. That is why the the government tried to clean it and protect it all the time, but it was impossible. And last year we talked sometimes with one of the co-founder of the Walkative Society, Simon King, of this idea of the street as a palimpsest, which means to write and to erase and to write again. But you can also see what was written there. So as you can see here, it's one graffiti to the other graffiti, and it's like layers that at the same time represents it's like the diary of the demonstration, because all the messages are responding to what was happening. So it's like an alternative journal of the history. And this part, I like it a lot because of the colors and the different messages in the steps there in the stairs. So it's nice. And there is the face of that stencil is the face of Pedro Lemebel, a very important novelist and artist that fight from a queer perspective and open mind this vision during the dictatorship. That it was very brave during this horrible time of persecution and disappearance. It was nominated for Chile's National Literature Prize in the 2014. And I think that, a year after he died. So if you can find and read something about Pedro Lemebel, I really recommend it. And so all the orality of the protest becomes like tattoos that leave also scars in the city. That's very interesting to look at the street in this way. And like I try to explain, is like if you have a society that is in crisis or it's sick, you materialize this in the public space. It's become like the physical body of the society. And the public space, it's not only like a material support, it becomes also like a medium of expression of the citizens. There are some people from the government and the president there. And also, as I said before, here you have a lot of important and positive messages. There it says like, because the revolution is necessary, the revolution is possible, which I think that it's a very positive message. And also this idea of power, of caring, of unity. You have a lot of messages of unity, dignity, protection of the nature, feminism, respect, children rights, diversity also, there's a lot. And as you can see, all these shops and restaurants were closed like for almost 6 months. And here I think, there's one of my favorite that says that the walls are the printing press of the people. which is also that this idea of the city as text. And this is a phrase from an Argentinian journalist. It's called Rodolfo Walsh. And I think that this one is one of my favorites, that says, Chile woke up, tell me something prettier than that. It's where all the people start like asking for their rights, and nobody was able to just stay at home. Everyone was at the street, like. And these red walls are the facade of the San Francisco Church, which is it's an historical monument of the country. It was built in the 1562. And here, of course, that you have a lot of messages of pedophilia and legal abortion. And now that we are getting close to the government palace, so everything is getting it's more clean, it's more quiet, because it's more protected by the police, and also because we are far away from the central place of the demonstrations. So here I will try to go faster. And now also, well, that's the Chilean flag. You can recognize it. And yeah, we are arriving to the other important university, that it's called the University of Chile. And here you have a lot of other messages asking for education as well. And the face of Camilo Catrillanca there. And this heart there, you can read resist, no more. It's like a stop. And here, yeah, we are almost at the end of the journey. We're arriving to the Citizen Square, Plaza de la Ciudadanía. So everything it's more quiet, yeah. And this is the Citizen Square. Behind us is La Moneda. So we just walked 2.4 kilometers and we can see the government palace with all these white walls. This record is part of a huge project, which is called La Ciudad como Texto, the city as text. And this is an alternative archive that was made by some Chilean people, almost like 60 people work here. It's a self-managed project. It's a collaborative project. So that is hosted here. You can go and visit the site and make this walk whenever you want. And this is like the clip of the, here you will understand more about the project. So I think also that is very interesting to share with you something about the process of how this archive was created. So just a few weeks before the government censored the messages, like by painting all the walls in the street, I decided to make this record just to protect this memory. So the idea was recording the ephemeral nature of the public space, because like everything was happening. It was like how to have something that we can review and see it again after some time, and to have this memory. So I create this registration technical information where I decide which streets I would like to record, the camera that we use, the day of the record, in the specific time. So, and the numbers of images that compone and made this 2.4 kilometers. This is like the honesty of the project. Is like the record is just from this section. So I invite my friend Daniel Corvillon, and we made this walk. So it was an analog and digital process, because so we took like 200 of photos and I printed, and I started like with traditional materials. I started like reconstructing this street. And as you can imagine, like all the street were like cut. You cannot have this Google Street View. So the only way of having this record was by walking. And as my friend Andres Larraín taught me to how to work with photos. So I use gloves for link and merge all of these pictures one by one. It was like a 3-month work. And then I made this like 12-meter of photos printed in 10 or 15. And then was this digital part with Felipe Sologuren, an excellent web development. And we decode the street and we join this and create this platform. And of course, that it wasn't easy to merge and create this. There's a lot of tries that we do. And so now you can visit this website. that is like now it's an alternative archive that is used in for different fields of knowledge and in different research in university, and it was made like collaborative, not also because of all the people that wrote these messages in the street, it also because, like you can see here, well, this here is about the project, but here's a constellation of the key agents. So it's all the people that work with me for free, with this idea of having this record and to have this memory of what was happening. And also I decided to invite different authors and persons from different ages and different field of knowledge to write no more than 100 words, to talk about some tag or some graffiti in the street. So you will find these crosses, these asterisks that you can link and you can read the text. All the web page is in Spanish and in English. So, and also we made, I designed this digital book that it's free. You can download it free and you can see it. And we have also an Instagram that now it's not very update, but, and we made just one copy, one edition of the book. So here you can have more information also. And we hope to print another edition. So I would like to finish this with this idea of the city as text. Then it's a new way of building different archives with another information that is not the traditional or the officially. And oh, sorry, I will go back a little bit. And this idea also to find new materiality for writing history, I think that is very important. And in this case, like the street, with these different voices, find one powerful voice that is this citizen book. And this idea that also to consider the non-human elements for writing history, because in this case, the text is written by the bus stop, by the signs, by the trees. Everything that is part of the public space is part of the history and is part of this citizen book. So and other thing nice is that it's built day by day by the same citizens. I think that is really interesting. And as I said before, well, the government cleaned all the walls and the paint. So this is just a little clip of how the government paint all the walls. So all this memory now, it's in this archive, but it disappeared. And it's this idea of the ephemeral of the street. So thank you very much. I'm a little tired of this walk now.
Thank you very much. That was really amazing. And thank you, Lev. I think it's so it's really generous of you to share not just the walk, but like the process and kind of your the people you collaborated with. I think that was really interesting to see. We've got quite a few questions in the chat. I just wanted to pick up on one because I can't. I've got to dash, but Simon did pick up on the facelessness of the people. So I think that was maybe to do with the people in the pictures where they had their faces sort of scrubbed out. And I thought that was quite interesting. There's a sort of where you decide to. Obviously, there's like signs of like manipulation, or you can see where you've sort of spliced photos together, but how you felt you made those decisions about what sort of to try and keep and preserve, and what you thought was important to sort of tidy up or to make obvious?
Well, I think that one of the idea of the project and this archive is to have like an overview of the street, so anyone can choose whatever they want to read. It's not I'm not designing like or decide me which message I want to photo or which thing I consider that is the best one. It's like there you have all the street. You can decide how you can build your own discursive text or your thoughts.
Oh, may I have a questions? So firstly, thanks for sharing. I think it's really amazing projects and really interests me. And yeah, my question is because it's especially when you talk about the digital lives and the analog, like because they two are quite different things. And then I would like to know, for example, your decision making about employing this analog process in the projects, and also some. Actually, in general, people will think about or consider about when you digitalize something, maybe it already like an endpoint of archive, like how you make the living archive in this aspect.
Well, it's an interesting question because this project it was just because of what was happening. I didn't design everything. It was like, okay, I started by having this record, then I decided to make it myself, like printing the photos, because at that moment I want to make like a big exhibition in the street where I put all these messages like before they like this they were removed. But what happened was like the COVID appeared, so everyone was locked down, so I cannot make this exhibition or share this material in physically. So that's what I speak with Felipe, and we design this website so we can share this information where we were locked down. And at the same time, it was a new possibility of walking in this virtual space, being locked down, being inside the house. So, and also one thing that happened that I didn't realize at the first time, it was like I was able to share this material with other Chileans that were out of Santiago and from Chile, that they really want to participate in the process. And because they were in Santiago or in Chile, they feel like apart and very isolated. And with this record and this virtual walk as an experience archive, they really appreciate, because they feel more calm and that they were part of this social uprising. So it's amazing how by using like the digital space, you can have more access and democratize this type of archive. So of course that I have the real version of the analog version at home, and I think that one day I would like to make this exhibition with all the pictures there. But yeah, and also I think that this kind of project is like I said, this demonstration happened everywhere all the time. So this can be made in other cities from all over the world. So
Yeah, that's great. Because like last time we talked, and then you said that all the graffitis is already removed by the government. So also that's why it's quite very important to preserve like that period of the protest language or something. I'm thinking, will we have any other question in the chat box, or Simon will like to ask something?
Well, yeah, maybe it's an observation more than a question, or there's a little bit of a question here. I mean, I just love that, you know, the aerial footage of the removal of, is it General Baquedano? I don't know if that's the right pronunciation of his name.
General Baquedano, Simon.
Okay.
I know that you know Spanish, so.
I stand corrected. I stand corrected. Well, I wonder if he has some sort of significance. I mean, is he like a a Lord Nelson figure in Chile, because it seems such a futile gesture, or not gesture exactly, but it has that. It sort of seems to be a gesture. Why that statue and not all the other statues that we see? And I was just struck by that wonderful image of it being removed, and then what seems to be some sort of reference to La Dolce Vita. And I've just been reading, so is it that these demonstrations are continuing each week in the Plaza?
Well, the demonstration stopped at some point because of the COVID and the lockdown. So it was like, in my opinion, like it wasn't just because of the repression. And we have also this, like the government before the COVID, he decided to restrict the people outside from 1 hour. I think that there's a word for that. So they must stop for some months, but now that but the crisis continues. So now that the lockdown is not so straight, and so yeah, you have the people in the street with masks sometimes, which is very interesting to see the same videos. But of course, that this happened a year and a half. So there's a process that is happening. We have this. Is not this hard now, but it's continued the crisis.
I just wonder if there are any questions from other people here. You can see that there are some appreciations here, by the way, Carola, from Sergio and Alexa. But would anyone like to ask a question? I can see Lee there. Put you on the spot, Lee.
Well, with Sergio, we participate in one festival that was very interesting because we create this virtual. No, it wasn't virtual. It was an audio guide from like the first section of the route.
Yeah.
So we record some podcasts, and people can play it and can walk over this place, like listen how the process was made, some of the thing that is still there, because it's not everything clean. You have something that are there. So yeah, it was an amazing way of start like doing new things with it, with this archive. And also it motivated myself for make this walk that it's like, well, I have to include more material because I need to explain more about the history. But yeah, it was a very nice experience. So thank you, Sergio.
Great. Because when I watching the presentation, it really keep reminding me the situation in Hong Kong, what you just mentioned, like actually in the world, many places also have the same happenings. For example, when I seeing like the slogan, the wall, and then there's different meanings, I see the shop closed, I will think about any layers or in the community, or for example, there are some protester, will the shop owners actually against those protesters? Like different kinds of things is happening inside, and which made me very interested to also want to know more about the background.
Yeah, and also it's interesting like how the monuments have this importance, and thinking about what happened in Bristol, or it's like things that are happening all over the world. So
yes, I mean, I think what I'm taking away from this is what you've been saying about the new materiality, and the palimpsestic city, the city as text, and the way that you can sort of read those words, and so if we visit the site, we can click on links and see what is there some sort of commentary around particular messages.
yeah, I think that I can show you, because the power of this connection. Now you're seeing my screen, no?
Yep.
Yeah. You can visit here the site, and here is the route, the presentation of the project. And if you just click, you get inside the site, and you can start walking. Okay. Here is the option of English and Spanish. So there you can read the text, and these are the comments and the collaboration from other authors. So here, if you click, you have this text from a designer. In this case, it's Pedro Alvarez. And then you can continue. And here's another text from Jude that talks about this A. So yeah.
Yeah, I've been in the site. I lost me the video, so I couldn't add to the. So sorry about that. I'm back now, but yeah, I've been having a good look through the site. It's really good. Excellent.
It is intriguing that ACAB, ACAB, all coppers are bastards. I'm just interested in how that has migrated.
Yeah.
And not just to Santiago, but for me, I've always associated it even as a sort of London thing. And, and going back, many years, where, you see that graffiti in relation to some sort of event to do with law and order. But the way that translates even as an initialism, ACAB, but even to understand that, COPPA is, stands for, policeman or, police officer, how that translates into the Spanish, but how, how it arrives in Santiago as a sort of commonplace slogan.
Yeah. Really, I think that the social media and that kind of things is, because if not, it's really weird. And yeah, it was it's very common now. And also,
do people understand it? They ACAB, they know what that stands for?
I don't know. I hope that yes, but
yeah.
Well, the people that know English, yeah, but yeah. So
actually, the major journalists, are they support the protester or support the government?
Both. And sorry, but here down you have like a little like review where you can see where you are in this 2.4 kilometers. So this is the whole route, and we are now here. So also it's interesting.
New message coming in. Luisa Rivera. Interesting. As a Spanish speaker, even if you don't know English, acab sounds like acabar, which in Spanish means ends. Really interesting. Thank you for that. At the beginning of the film, I noticed that there was a lot of, pavement or sidewalk that had been completely, broken up. So presumably, demonstrators have used the rubble to presumably throw. Is that what they're doing with it?
Yeah, to throw to the police car and to build this like barricade or fences to protection. Like yeah. Most of them were used for the first line, which is like the people that protect the other protester, that have a incredibly job and they are like the brave. So yeah, they use this for throwing and for build this thing for protection.
So reminiscent of the 1968 Paris riots with the curbs.
Absolutely. I just think it's extraordinary. So that sort of sequence where we see public monument after public monument, which has, been sort of not repurposed exactly, but becomes a canvas for protest. And just reflecting on last year in the UK, when there was a period when a number of public statues in public places that associated with the slave trade, enslavement, were either sort of toppled or painted on. But actually, in comparison to Santiago, that seems to have been a very sort of modest outbreak of public protest.
Well, also it's because of the time that the process, well, this started the 2019 and it's continued. So
yeah,
it's also, yeah. And I think that is also interesting to like highlight this idea of how by using art, in this case, this analog thing, plus the digitally and the other things, you can create this archive and have this translation or decoding of the city. That is another way of using art.
So is this work, is it going to be shown in London? Is it going to have some sort of
I hope that our
gallery setting? Well, I think it should.
Yeah, I think that RCA must help this to be, I don't know, we can project this. Also is this idea, we can have this not printed, we can project this and we can walk through this street. So
yeah.
It's like another way of navigate the site.
Well, maybe I should put you in touch with a friend of mine. We can have that conversation.
I'd love to.
Now, I'm conscious of the time, so maybe we should begin to wrap things up. Pat, I don't know if you have any sort of closing.
Actually, it's very casual. I mean, if there are any other questions or something, because I think, for example, me and Simon dropped down so many questions in the chat box. So maybe Carola, you can also save the file, or it may help. I don't know. But also, if anyone's interested in the projects, can also check the website. I also put in the chat box, and then email Caroline to keep the conversations. And also thanks again, Caroline, for giving these amazing sharings, and thanks, Simons.
Thank you.
And thanks all the audience today. And the next walk will be after 2 weeks. We will announce in the Walkative Instagram, and then it will be in East London by also 2 Wiscombe students, year 2 students. So see you next time.
Well, Pat, before we go, Louisa has a comment that I think we can end with. For me, this is such a strong documentation. I'm Chilean, but I live in the UK, and I witnessed the estallido from afar. So having this record allowed me to visit this social movement to see what happened there. Thank you, Carola. So,
yes.
I think we'll all add to that. So thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, thanks. And the website is excellent, by the way. I'm looking through it now.
Oh, okay, maybe Caroline can send out the website again, or let me do this.
We are having some people dropping in sort of maybe a little bit late, like Maria Jesus.
Dropping in the last minute.
Well, just to say to anyone that's arrived late and has missed this most excellent walk, it's being recorded, and it will be made available via YouTube and Instagram. Is that right, Pat?
Yeah, it will we can send email. And then also remember to check this website. Just send out from Carola. They're amazing projects. So thanks again, everyone. So see you next time.
Okay.
I have a nice weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.